Hello everybody, this is Nolan Cat here, and welcome back to another episode of Stormworks. Now this time, instead of doing some sinking survival, we are going to be checking out some cool creations that people have made, so let's get started. Alright guys, so this is the first creation. This is called Small Little Yacht here from olden times. So, as you can see here, it's pretty nice. We've got deck lights here. If we hop into this room, we have this. Got cabin lights here. Let's turn those on. We've got this nice little place over here. All these boats will be in the link in the description. So now if we hop over and we come over to here, and up here, we've got some more deck lights. That's morely for night. For night, this is where this is, but first, so let's turn the engine on, and then let's press 1 and let's move and increase things. Now, the cool thing about this boat is that it doesn't actually really use engines all that much. It uses, instead, it uses wheels. So as you can see, we have a bunch of wheels here, and they're spinning around, pushing the boat forward at a nice speed. So this boat is very nice. It's turning still. It has 2 ways to turn, which is pretty cool thing as well. So first way to turn is obviously just you hop over to your helm, you go into it, and then you just turn the rudder. That's the first way. Well then, another way you can do it is you can turn down one of the engines and it'll turn like that, and then you just turn that engine back up and it continues to move forward again. So that's a pretty cool thing. As you can see, this yacht is pretty nice. It's very small, and that is just because it's a old yacht from older times. So you can see, like, you'd expect there to be more boat, but there's really not. You also want to be careful not to fall off. So if we hop into here, which it is definitely very messy in here when it's activated, because wheels are just right there and it's splashing water everywhere. As you can see, you can sit down around here. It's pretty nice. Sit down around this table, play some games with your friends. All pretty normal things. There we go. So now let's hop back out onto this boat, and let's do a nice turn. Here's what it looks like when there's just one, because that one is not turning very much. That one is turning. So let's head right back over to the location we are, and that's gonna be pretty cool. So as you can see, this boat's pretty nice. It doesn't have any lifeboats, but nor does it have, I don't think it has a way to scuttle it, but that's okay. Overall, it's a pretty nice boat and works pretty well. And I'm just going to crash it into a wall. Perfect. Now we are scaling a wall. It's pretty nice. And just like that, our boat is capsized. Well, it's a pretty nice boat. If you guys want to have this boat for yourself, you can go get it in the description. But anyways, I'll see you for the next creation. Alright guys, this one has a backstory, and its name is the CSS TARDIS Irie. So, guess I'll get to go read that. You can skip to a time here, time down here on the video if you don't want to see it, but I'll see you guys there. CSS TARDIS Irie slow going was the first of 5 TARDIS Ivory class circular ironclad warships built for river defense in the Confederate-held Mississippi after the War of Secession ended in 1865. In 1870, Russian naval designer Andrei Alexandrovich Popov, hope I said that right, traveled to the Confederate States to give an import on design competition, which was meant to replace the quite old and obsolete river ironclads from the early to mid-1860s, and came up with a very small, very oddly shaped warship for this. And Popov's design was deemed to be adequate for the Confederate admiralty, and were ordered in 1871. Popov would later return to Russia and give the design to the Russian Navy equivalent of the TARDIS Ivory. The 5 ships of this class were given the names TARDIS Ivory, Brisk, Jog, Walk, and Slug. All were built and commissioned into the Confederate States between 1872 and 1876, and all would serve in the Second Mexican War against the United States. Sadly, during this, the CSS Brisk was sunk violently by an American submarine off the coast of New Orleans, in which Brisk would sadly sink with heavy casualties. This will go down in history as the first armored warship to be successfully sunk by a submarine during wartime. After the war, the ships would be completely overhauled and most of the superstructure being removed and replaced with a new bridge layout being installed with removal of 15-inch guns and replacing them with several modern 6-inch rifled guns. During the First World War, what was left of the class as held in the Mississippi River against advancing naval units. Notably, the CSS Jog would sink the USS Caddo in a gunfight outside New Orleans. Halfway through the war, black communist rebels would seize the CSS Walking in response to CSS Jog, and the CSS Tardier would recapture Walk in a bloody gunfight. After the war ended in 1918, the peace terms imposed on the Confederacy would dictate the scrapping of all naval units in the Mississippi River. CSS Jog would be preserved in a museum as a museum ship. Sadly, the rest of the class was unharmoniously scrapped near Vicksburg. In 1921, the story of the CSS Jog did not end there, as during the Second World War, after the city of New Orleans was captured by the United States forces in 1942, she would be torched by U.S. Marines, and while in her dry dock, most of its interior was burnt and destroyed. She would barely survive the war and was completely rebuilt to her second Mexican War configuration, and still remains in New Orleans as a museum ship. And that's the backstory for it. Alright, back to the ship. Alright guys, now keep in mind that was not a real backstory back there. That was created by the creator of this ship. So now let's spawn her in, but we're gonna have to run because these buttons are already turned on, so we have to go turn off the low ridge for the lifeboats. So let's spawn her in and let's go straight over to this, which I fell off, which not the best maneuver, because we've got to go through here, turn off the down, turn off the up as well. Now we have to move all the way over to here and turn off the down on this. You can actually turn the up on for this and get that to go back to normal, because I accidentally fell off, but that's perfectly fine. So yeah, this is the boat that the backstory was talking about. Actually, it's one of the boats I was talking about. This is the first one, the Ivory, the TARDIS Ivory. So now let's go. Let's get that to come back to normal. Let's turn that off, and let's head up here to the ship. So now that we've come up to here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to be able to get over here we've got some ammunitions and stuff like that. However, that's not what we're currently looking for. We need to hop into the hospital right now, turn on our flashlight, turn on the engine room, and then let's hop down here. Let's light that boiler. Let's ignite the boiler as well. That is going to make this thing can start to move. So now if we hop off there, head back into the daylight, make sure that it stays day, and currently the boat is turning, which currently that's a bad thing, but we'll just hop over to here, come to here, turn that on, hop onto here, turn that off, and come into here, and try to make this thing go back to normal. So I'm going to quickly get this thing out onto sea. Alright guys, as you can see, I got her out to sea. So this is the CSS TARDIS Irie. As you can see, it's not the fastest boat in the world. However, she moves pretty nicely. Got some stuff there. Now, if we come back down here, there are a few things that you are going to notice. First of all, this is the just, normal stuff like the medical bed and stuff like that. But if we come down to here, go out of here, we can now close this. But as you can see, now we're over here, and we've got some stuff over here. So if we come over to here, which as you can see, we've got some cannons, and they can actually fire. So if we bring this bad boy up, and then we can make it also go forward and out. As you can see, we can fire it right there. We can turn the entire, make this go up and down. So you'd lift this up to the top. We can choose like a turret rotation, like let's go for 45. And as you can see, it turns these bad boys to a 45 degree. So now what we can do is let's try and shoot one of these mountains. So looks like we have to turn by probably an extra 5 degrees. Let's change that to 50. Let's get this thing to move a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to do something big and say like 75 or 65. And because that should hopefully turn us into the hopefully right direction. Might change this to something a little bit higher. So if we come to here, now we're at this, so now we're here, so let's try shooting this way. So this cannon's already in the right position, so let's fire that. As you can see, it just launched a little thing there. Can't really do all that much. If we hop back up here, that's one of our cannons already fired. But let's say that this other one isn't ready yet. So let's hop over back into the turret position. Let's move this bad boy. Let's move this one forwards this time, because let's say we are a little bit off, and then let's move that one only to there instead of this one, which is a full 20. Let's only move this one to 15, so we're 16, and let's fire. And then that should give us a different spot to be hit. But as you can see, that's how the cannon system works on that, and that's pretty nice. Over here, we have another gun, which that can fire. Can only fire once, however. But we can also turn this thing left and right. Sadly, I don't think you can use these ammunitions in here. You just can't use those to refuel anything. But if we come back over to this gun, let's make this one go this way behind us. And now let's make this one go down a little bit and then fire that. So there you go. That is the TARDIS Irie. It's a pretty good boat. So let's go on to the next creation. Alright everybody, this is the last creation we have. As you can see, it's this nice boat that we have. As you can see, this boat is Canadian. It says Canada. So now, if we hop onto this boat, which is, as you can see, not sinking, but just very light. It's an airboat. So if we hop into here, and we come over to here, and we go into the pilot seat, here we are, over here, and it shows everything that we have here. Main thing that we need to do is turn on our thing. Here we are. We've turned on our light, and another thing is, see, this boat is very light. So light, in fact, that you can just push it, and the boat will then turn. Pretty cool fact about it, but that's not the point. Let's hop into here and let's activate all of our lights. So if we activate our starter and we move this forward, as you can see, it is in fact a airboat, and as you you can see, we're now coming out on this with this airboat. It's quite a fast airboat. Sometimes you wonder why there's a rudder there that's not doing anything, because none of those rudders are touching the water, but still turning anyways. It's a pretty nice boat. Doesn't have much else. Got all kinds of modes and all kinds of stuff. So if we then hop over, I'm just going to crash straight into this wall over here. And yeah, so if you guys want to use any of these boats yourself, and there she goes, off into the distance. A beautiful sight to see. So, if you guys want to use any of these creations yourself, then just hop into the description and you can get them yourself. So that's been some Stormworks creations. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Goodbye!